Hello, sir.
Girl, I've been on here since 5 till, man. I didn't get the invite. You know I'm not
Oh
late.
no. Well, so yeah, you have to click in and then get the invite.
My
hmm
bad.
That's all right. I like your shirt. I'm
Thank
digging,
you.
I'm digging the shirt. It's
Right on.
very cool.
Thank you.
Very nice. Well, I'm glad you were finally able to join us. Everybody's been waiting with bated breath. They're all
I'm
looking forward
sorry
to
about that. And I'm sitting here clicking. I'm like, refresh,
It's
refresh,
okay. No,
refresh.
it's all right. Yeah, it's all right. Totally okay. That's the joys of going live is technical issues and you know, it's fine. I did some stand up. I did a little improv. I did a very stirring rendition of an aria
Are you,
that
are you
yeah,
recording so I can go back and watch it?
absolutely. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So, if I can build an online business, anybody can. I can't even work.
Right.
I can't even work Instagram. Like,
Well,
that's totally, totally.
this is what Curls Cynthia is saying. She's like, Danny loves technology. He's a big fan of technology.
No, but curls does not let me say that I'm not good at it. She kind of stays.
Right.
So.
Exactly. Oh, and Mario is celebrating that it finally worked. So, you guys, we're off to the races now. Danny is finally here. You guys don't have to stare at just my face anymore. I guess we'll just we can kick it off then. So I was explaining to the people who are viewing that you're a member of ours. I always give a little bit of a background as to what SFM does. We're an online education platform that specializes in online entrepreneurship, several different business models. So you're one of our students, and the way I usually start these out is to just get the ball rolling is to ask you, a little bit about your background, tell our viewers a little bit about yourself, your background leading up to SFM, and then what drew you to SFM.
Cool. Right on. Well, I'm down here in Jacksonville, Florida. And before the SFM, I did medical sales for almost 15 years.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, my territory was the Southeast U.S., so I was living in hotels, traveling, and I enjoyed it. When I
Yeah.
started working, it was a regional company, and it was cool, and then they wanted to go national, and it became corporate, and that's not really my jam. You know what I mean? We ended up parting ways, and I wanted to do something where I didn't, like, I wasn't owned. I didn't feel like I was owned, and I had no idea what to do. Technology, obviously not my thing, but I knew the internet was kind of where I wanted to go if I wanted time freedom, and I came across, like a lot of us, I came across an ad from Chris Hall from the Lifestyle Team on YouTube, working out, and it's all downhill from there, man. I joined the community, and I remember I was on one of JJ's calls on a Friday morning, and I just hung up after that. I said, you know what, this is how I want to feel every day, and so I never gave my resume to anybody after that, and went all in, and this is all I've done ever since. That was October 2018.
That's great. Yeah. Amazing. So, I mean, you have a lot of background then in sales in general. And what a lot of people, I think one of the main misconceptions when people think of building an online business is that they're going to have to quote unquote sell, which is not always the case, right? So what was it about, because I think you're leveraging the affiliate model. What was it about affiliate marketing and the affiliate business model that drew you in?
The ability to set up systems and have them function while I wasn't trading my time for money. To me, it was, that was the most attractive part to me. It's like, I don't really care about buying stuff. I like to do stuff, like my vision board wouldn't have any things on it, it would have like places, right? So, just the idea of setting something up to where I could do whatever I want to do, and just the little stuff. Right? Like, I get to cook dinner for my girlfriend every night, right? Like, just little things like that, you know what I mean? That I enjoy, or being able to, whatever. Like, I've made sales. It seems like when I'm doing stuff for other people, I make sales. Like, I'm in the waiting room. My mom gets surgery. I make sales. I'm helping people do stuff to their house, and all of a sudden sales come in. It's like, it's just cool, man. It's just not trading the time for money. So that was the goal. The first business I actually started with the training I had from the SFM was an e-commerce business. I have a CBD oil company that I started.
Okay, great.
Still going through the modules, actually.
Yeah.
And yeah, because I wanted to take advantage of it, and so I did, and so I do that just kind of to help people. You know, I mean, it doesn't.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the affiliate business is where I'm at, man. Like helping people
Yeah.
have time freedom, man, and not be tied to the 9 to 5 and people they don't
Yeah.
like, jobs they hate.
Yeah.
That inspires me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, so it's not, so I actually didn't know that you also leveraged the e-commerce side, which is incredible as well. So, you know, you're leveraging the education that the SFM provides, correct me if I'm wrong, to do both the physical product side and the affiliate side, which is pretty cool.
For
It's,
me, I don't know about any of this I've leveraged from the SFM because I
that's
knew
amazing.
absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Which is pretty cool because then it just shows people as well that you don't actually have to choose just one. You don't, you know, it is great to kind of like pick a lane and stick to it and focus your energy on making something work. But if you've got, you know, interests that vary, that, you know, that spread the entire spectrum, there's something for everybody. If you want to sell products, you can sell products. If you want to sell a service, you can sell a service. If you want to sell somebody else's services, you can do that. So it's great to be able to leverage it that way. And you mentioned also that you seem to be, you know, you seem to be making sales, you seem to be making money when you're doing things for other people, when you're like not actually quote unquote selling, you're not working, when you're doing things for other people. And that's one of the things I wanted to talk about with you today too, is that that seems to play a very big role, not only in your life, but in your messaging as well, is give back and being grateful. Why is it important for you and for your messaging, just that sense of gratitude and giving back?
That's a good question. So, I cannot claim I have not always lived a life of gratitude. You know, I was entitled, I guess, probably arrogant and all that good stuff. And, I'm in recovery. And when all that came to a head, a few years ago, I had to basically start my life over. And, it was people willing to do for me without expecting anything in return, and teaching me to do something that I had no idea how to do, that changed my life. And it was through that process that I learned, if you want to do something, if you want to work on yourself, get outside of yourself, and do something for other people. And that just really resonated with me, with the community. I mean, it was one of the things that attracted me to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Our community is pretty special, and it's like I reached out for help to people all over the world, which is awesome for technical issues, and some people reach out to me for, things with mindset or organization or exercise, whatever, we just help each other like that. So for me, that's what started it. My company's called Living Grateful. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'm all about, man. I'm all about just being grateful for what we have and everything. We have a lot. If you're on this call, you have a lot,
Yeah.
And so it's just, that's kind of my jam. Spread some hope, and get other people to look outside themselves and do for others, and
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty good, man. I enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know the community enjoyed it too. I mean, there seem to be a lot of parallels between what you're doing in your personal life, because I know that you have kind of like a counseling group or a support group that you run, as well as running in focus calls within our community based around mindset and gratitude. So just seeing those parallels between, your personal life and then giving back to the community as well is pretty cool to see. Could you, anybody who's watching who hasn't seen one of your in focus calls, could you kind of talk about how that came about, what those calls are about, and what you personally have gotten out of them?
Yeah, our in focus call is pretty cool. It's not mine, it's ours, right? And that takes pressure off of me.
Yeah.
Curls reached out to me last year and asked if I would be willing to do an in focus call, and I was like, I was floored, because what am I going to teach anybody? I mean, a lot of the in focus calls I've seen were to learn how to do things technical, which no one wants me to teach them that, right? But she said, well, you inspire people. What are you good at? I said, well, I'm good at being grateful. And I'm good at setting commitments and keeping them, and I have a pretty good attitude. And so it just kind of went from there. And I was so unbelievably nervous so on the first call, right? You know, I mean, I talk in front of a lot of people. I have no problem with that in person.
Mm-hmm.
And just the fact of it being on a computer or on the phone or all that, you know, like I've had a big fear with broadcasting. The 90-day video game scared me to death, right?
Yeah.
You know, so I did it twice in a row, you know, because that's what I needed to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, yeah, you know, if this will help somebody, I'll make myself uncomfortable, you know. And it's grown. It's good. And we have quite a few people who show up every week, and it's pretty unique. I mean, the topics are kind of random,
Mm-hmm.
but they all generally have to do with, you know, looking at ourselves or doing something for other people, or
Right.
you know, it's been really fun. You know, I'm really grateful to Curls for asking me to do it, because it forced me to grow, you know, and I do enjoy helping people, you know. So I mean, I don't teach anybody anything. I mean, all I have is my experience, you know. But I've done enough dumb shit to where if some, you know, mistake I've made could help somebody else out, then bravo, right? And
Yeah, absolutely.
pretty well, you know. I mean, I try to talk as little as possible on them, and it's kind of a collaborative thing that we have. So,
Mm-hmm.
so I really enjoy it, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if you're seeing these comments, some of the feedback you're getting too. Mario is saying that the You're in Focus calls helped him a lot and that you're amazing.
Man,
But
Mark has an energy bus. No, I'm not reading anything. I'm looking at you because I'll probably break it again. I'm just trying to.
we don't want to break Instagram. But yeah, so I think one of the things that's cool that you kind of touched on there is you kind of, it's the topics are different and you kind of just sit back and sometimes just try to listen. So there's this sense within the community of peer-to-peer mentorship as well, which I think is, you know, and just another form of giving back. Can you speak a little bit to your experience with peer-to-peer mentorship within the community, you know, who you found to mentor you, and then, you know, you giving back as well?
Oh, for sure, man. You know, I would say I wouldn't consider him a peer, but Dan Holloway is like my mentor, you know, with this business. I haven't really helped him with anything, except I probably make him laugh every now and then. But
which is very important. Don't minimize the power of laughter. Let's not do that.
You know, I'm going to have
especially
to
yeah.
I'm good. You know, I mean, like, you know, Matt Cook and Michael Scott, you know, those guys, Rich Francis. I mean, a lot of these people have helped me technically quite a bit, you know. And I have a relation, Anthony Hall, Christine has helped me. Christine Frey has helped me with, you know, with some things, and Philip Robeson, Iron Touch, and you know, I'm sure I'm going to forget some people, which Caroline Grubbs, like my homegirl, you know. And it's just like I've met Caroline Antonia through this. She's helping me with, you know, getting over my fear of content. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's just people who are good at certain things. I mean, they've spent a significant amount of time. You know, Shabir, I mean, he'll help anybody for anything, you know.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Yep.
And he and I catch up, you know, pretty regularly. And it's just, I've just shot a message, you know. Like one thing I learned, kind of because I had to, was to not be afraid to ask for help, you know. And it's arrogant to think that I know everything, right? Because I know so little, you know, especially in this space, right?
Yeah.
But whenever we, you know, we fight through stuff, and I always try to find the answer first. But like, I have some friends who are just, you know, recently, within the last week, Matt Cook, he's just insane, right, with the technology stuff, and he's like 100 years younger than me too, right? So I'll be banging
a full 100, I think, is the
for sure, you know, which is like 5 score. And I was like, hey man, how did you figure that out? Because he just knew it. And he goes, well, it just made sense to me. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense to me, you know. But he gets that, you know. And then he needed some help with his organization. He hit me up, and I help him with that, you know. And Michael Scott's my accountability partner, and the same thing. I mean, he's helped me a ton with Convertry, you know, and all that. I help him with mindset. So it's just been, we all have different strengths, you know. And this thing is global, right? I mean, there's people all over the world, and it's, to me, this is the first time I've ever been a part of something that was like that, you know. Living here in Florida, I mean, we have people visit here from all over the world, and I've traveled quite a few places, but I've never had a relationship with anybody who wasn't American, you know.
Right.
And I have several now, and it's super cool. I learned a ton of new words. You know, everybody that I speak to talks way cooler than me, you know. So I enjoy that, you know. It's cool, man. And you know, I can say I've never reached out for help to anyone in our community, you know, whether it's a peer or like Justin or JJ or anyone. and Irene, Patty, like I reach out to all of them, and they always get back to me, and everybody's willing to help. You know, and it's super. Curls helps me like on a weekly basis. We wouldn't have a call if it was left up to me. Like that's
right.
It would never. It would happen at what happened at the beginning of this. It would be every time.
Well, then I'm sure I can speak for all of the your In Focus viewers that everybody owes Curls a debt of gratitude for giving you that kick in the butt you needed to actually have the call. So Curls, thank you.
Yeah.
Something that you touched on while talking about the peer-to-peer mentorship is just the guidance that comes from that as well. You know, you could feasibly, logically, you could say you could learn all of this stuff without a program like SFM. You can go and search the things online that you need to learn. But I think what sets SFM apart is the level of guidance that's been that you can receive as you're learning something new. How important is having guidance like that when you're learning something that's so brand new?
It's invaluable. You know, I mean, lack of information is an issue for absolutely nobody on earth right now. You know, if you have a computer, so that's not it. But I mean, how do you even know what to search? How do you even know where to look? How do you know what order to do things? You know, like I would have spent 12 years trying to get a cool logo before I actually did something in my business. You know, like I had no idea what order to do things in. You know, and just being open-minded and willing. You know, and for me personally, that was helped by the recovery thing. You know, I was given a very regimented thing to do. And if you do this, you just have to have faith that in the end, it's going to work out. Whether you understand why you're doing it now, whether you understand the order of it, it doesn't matter. If you believe that if you follow this training, if you follow these steps or these people who've been wildly successful at it and blindly follow it and have faith that it'll work out, then it will, you know. Just kind of get out of the way and follow the process. I mean, it's there for a reason. That was super helpful. There's absolutely no way that I could have done this without the guidance, for sure. Especially just not being technical, right? Like, and I joke about it, but seriously, man, like email and like some Excel. That was it.
Yeah.
I had no social media, no nothing ever, right? So, yeah, I mean, every little thing. And it took me a while. You know, I mean, the modules took me a lot longer than they've taken a lot of people that I've been in touch with. But that's just because every single thing in it was new to me, like without fail, right? So I wanted to make sure I did every little step. If Stuart said, hey, stop and go read this book, I would stop and go read that book, you know? Because to me, reading was a lot easier than doing computer stuff too, right? So
yeah, I'm sure it was a welcome break at that point. You're like, yes, I'd love to go read a book instead of
that would be great. If I could turn a computer off and read a book, that would be enough.
But yeah, it sounds like trust too is a big part of the equation.
Yeah, you know, it was. I mean, there's so much stuff on the internet, you know, and most people are full of shit. Just that's how it is. And you know, Chris Hall, the guy whose ad I watched. I mean, I'm sure you know Chris. You know, he's a younger guy. He's just so genuine and energetic. And then, of course, Stuart is the person that I watched in the video series, and he's just. To me, he couldn't be more authentic. You know, I know obviously I've met him in person now. He's exactly that way. You know? And all the people I've encountered in this community, all the leadership, it's how it was. And I just had faith. You know, I just trusted like they can't all be fooling me, right? I mean, it can't be a conspiracy, you know, to get my few bucks here. You know what I mean? So just have faith and work it out. You know, and once you commit that you're gonna do it whatever it takes, doesn't matter how long, then it doesn't matter how long, right? Like it doesn't matter what you don't get done. You just break it down each day, one day at a time, just follow the process. Yeah,
that's great. I mean, we mentioned earlier that, you know, you have a pretty extensive background in sales. You were in sales for around 15 years. So I think, like we talked about a little bit earlier, was sometimes there are some misconceptions about what online sales means or building an online business means, where there are certain similarities, but there are definitely a lot of differences too between the two. So speaking from a sales perspective as a, you know, professional salesperson, what are some of the similarities you see within the affiliate model? And then what are some of the biggest differences you see as well?
Well, there's always, in my opinion, a big misconception about sales. Like if I would meet someone, like, well, of course you're in sales because whatever, you speak well, or whatever it is, right? You remember people's names. I was like, that has absolutely nothing to do with it. I mean, professional salespeople who excel, they're organized. They know how to find what the customer needs and take care of the customer. Like, people don't care what you have; they care what you can do to help them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about building relationships. It's about having integrity. When you say you're going to do something, you do it. It's about being willing to hear 1,000 no's before you get a yes and not get discouraged.
Mm-hmm.
It's just life, man. And I mean, for the online business, it's the same thing. All I'm doing is just communicating authentically how I feel. And for the ones that resonate with that, awesome. For the ones that don't, awesome. Like JJ, got into my head early on. You're looking for people who believe what you believe, and that's not everybody, and that's okay, right? Like, I mean, I offend some people. That's cool. I don't intend to, I'm just me, and I'm not trying to change anybody's mind, and the process I've learned here with the SFM is just be yourself, do what you say you're going to do, and then figure out all this technical stuff, and the rest it takes care of itself. It really does,
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
not to say it's not frustrating and overwhelming. Overwhelming, if I had to pick one word for the first few months of building a business, it was just overwhelmed,
Mm-hmm.
But that's okay, because there's no timeline. Once you commit that you're going to get it done no matter what, then it really doesn't matter how long it takes you. Just
Mm-hmm.
do it right. Do it once,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I think that a lot of people come in thinking, kind of like what you just touched on is, I signed up for this thing and I have to follow this very strict schedule, regimented, and I have to get it done in 30 days or 90 days or whatever it is. And they have this idea in their head, and it does get a little bit overwhelming, but it sounds like you're saying it doesn't necessarily have to be on any particular timeline.
Yeah. Well, how many things just in your daily life go as planned? Very few, right? I mean, it's just life, man. It just happens, and it's, you just got to keep showing up. And, I remember Stuart saying early on, people really overestimate what they can accomplish in a year, and they really underestimate what they can accomplish in a few, and that's real. I mean, anybody who comes in expecting to replace their 6-figure job and travel the world and live from home in 6 months, I mean, is it impossible? Nothing's impossible. Is it likely? Not really, man. You know what I mean? And it's, that's the message I deliver. When I talk to my subscribers and my leads, like, I'm very upfront about all that. Like, it doesn't do anybody any good. It's not the page, right?
Right. Absolutely.
And I think the community does a good job of packaging it that way. I mean, it's you just have to be realistic. This is a journey, man.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to change your life overnight,
right?
But it will be worth it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you just touched on your messaging too, and your messaging basically being upfront about the fact that you're going to have to work hard and it's going to take time and you might be overwhelmed at times. And so, and authenticity and gratitude, I know, are a big part of your messaging. So, I know that over the past couple of months, a lot of people have made some serious shifts in their messaging because of the state of things and how things are changing. Has your messaging changed that much? And if so, why? Or if not, why do you think that your messaging is so evergreen?
Because the stuff that matters to me, the outside world is irrelevant. It doesn't matter if you're having a beautiful day. It doesn't matter if the world's falling apart. Be grateful you're still here to have it fall apart around you, right? And, my whole messaging, like I've spent a pretty good section of every ad I've ever placed telling me this isn't hard. This isn't for everyone. Most people quit, which is just like people who exercise, which is just like people who work in their relationship, which is just like people who start anything. Most people quit in life, period.
Yeah.
It's life, man, and that's real. And it would not be doing anybody a service to say, oh, hey, look, now that your whole life's falling apart, here's this magic pill to come take. So no,
right.
I haven't mentioned COVID. I haven't mentioned any of that, really, because the whole, in my opinion, my message is come create a different reality for yourself. And that's since my first ad, right?
Yeah.
What's changed? Nothing. So some other people should probably realize that they're not as stable as they were before.
Right.
You know, because now they've seen that happen. You know, there's a lot of people that without a paycheck or two, they can't live.
Right.
And if they don't do something to change it, that's never going to change, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
no, I haven't sold on fear. I haven't mentioned any of that. Not a single broadcast I put out there says COVID or anything like that. You know, I mean, it's just my message is the same. You know,
Yeah.
you want to put in the work, you can change your life. Simple.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I mean, I think it is an important message too, that people can change their lives and develop these skills. And specifically, again, for those who have just joined or who missed the first parts, Danny here is one of our affiliate marketers. It's the affiliate model that you decided to go with, in addition to the product-based business. But in reference to the just the SFM education in general, whether it's affiliate or product-based, how important, like now especially, how important do you think it is to develop those skills?
You know, I mean, it's more important than ever, right? You know, like to me, it wasn't when I joined this, you know, a year and a half ago, it wasn't I need to do this or, you know, I can't provide for myself, right? I could have got another sales job making plenty of money. I was good at it. It wasn't that hard. But I would have had the same kind of life I had, you know? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I go on some cool vacations. I make some good money, but I still have to answer the phone 24 hours a day. You know, I still have to do some shit I don't want to do. I still have to miss out on things with my family because I had to work. And that's not the case today.
Right.
And, you know, as far as the benefit, I guess, you know, of having a system to follow, to me, it's the same as it was back then. If you want to change, you need to follow a proven system. You need to, I mean, it's been the same through time. You want to do something, find somebody who does it well and do what they do, right?
Yeah.
And then just be authentic and make it your own. And,
yeah.
You know, and a lot of this is uncomfortable, you know, for me, like the video and all that stuff. Like, I don't mind talking to people. I don't mind interviewing and, you know, things like that. Just talking still. If I were to just go do a broadcast right now and talk to my phone, it's weird. It's just weird, you know, but that doesn't mean it doesn't get done, you know?
Right.
And now that the modules for me were invaluable, you know, and I think that's the same now. I mean, right now, I think a lot of people have been woken up to the fact that they need to do something, like especially people who are responsible for a family. Security, it matters, you know, it's important now. And now, of course, they've come out.
Yeah.
Stuart's got all these new modules, which are even easier to follow from what I hear. I haven't redone them. The first one's almost killed me, but I'm just kidding. You know, but it's one thing I've seen since I've been here. I mean, it's only been a year and a half, and they're constantly improving the product, you know, constantly looking for feedback in the way that they engage with the members of the community. And I feel it's listened to. You know, I think that whenever we give feedback, they do something with it. It's not just taking a survey for the sake of taking a survey, you know?
Right.
And I enjoy that. I like being a part of, like, it's a living, breathing community that's focused on growing and improving, you know? So I love it, man.
Yeah, absolutely. There is a little bit of a symbiotic relationship between the company and the community. You know, the community is the company and the company is the community. You know, it's all growing together. You know, the company, like you said, we're always asking for feedback, and, you know, we don't, you know, we're learning as much from you guys as I would hope that you guys are learning from us, and how we can improve, and you know, just staying, you know, keeping our finger on the pulse of what's working, what's not working. And, you know, a lot of that comes from you guys, which, you know, is amazing. So one of the things that we do within the community, I know that you know this, is we run challenges every once in a while. And you were one of the winners of a challenge that we did a little while back, the Pay It Forward challenge, which, looking back now, I'm like, it's like hindsight is 2020. I'm like, that challenge was, you know, pretty much made for Danny, I think. What can you, for people who don't know necessarily what that challenge was, can you explain a little bit what that was, how you participated, and what you got out of it?
Well, the one that I won third place in was the Transcend You challenge. Actually.
Oh, the Transcend. That's right. Okay. Yep.
That's why I won the new MacBook, which I'm super, super grateful for. And, you know, Christine Frey won first place, and she told me she's a rock star. You know, and Alex Franklin was second place. And that was, Stuart put that down in London. It was my first event. And it was 90 days, and you pick a goal in each area of life, like your health, your personal, and your business. And you could pick your own goals, and you just had to be accountable for 90 days. And, you know, I was already in the habit of working out, right, exercising. So I put that thinking that would be easy. And then I got sick when I got back. And then I had like a birthday, and I had stuff that I normally would have taken off for that I didn't, because I was committed to this. And the one thing, well, there's a couple things, but I think the major thing, that commitment that helped me in my business through that challenge, was the 90-day video journey. I had joined the 90-day video journey 3 or 4 weeks before London, and I think I'd shot like 3 videos, you know. And when I was there, I said, well, if I make this commitment, I'll do it, you know. And I finished it in that, and then I did it right after that again, another 90 days. So it was just huge, just to be. Everybody in the community supported everybody. It's people just doing things to make themselves better, right? And who doesn't root for someone who's putting in the work to make themselves better? You know, the Pay It Forward challenge, the Visionary challenge, that was awesome. I participated in that, of course. You know, that was essentially just doing things to give back, expecting nothing in return, which I try to do that. You know, I mean, just, you know, I said it humbly, but I do that in my daily life, and it felt pretty weird. Talking about it or recording it, you know, posting it. But it was for a greater purpose, right? It wasn't to brag. It was to just do these things and put it out there. And I saw, like Shabir, for example, he went and gave blood and he put it on there. Well, I was overdue. So it made me get up and go do it, right? Because someone else had done it and put it in there. And that was the whole point of it. You know, it was just a bunch of people all over the world paying it forward for no other reason than to help people. I loved it, man. That really resonated with me. I love to be a part of a community that put that out there, man, that did that, you know. It was good. It was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that a lot of what the community is all about, just in general, we've touched on it a few times throughout the time that we've been talking here, is just paying it forward within the community too, that peer-to-peer mentorship, and just everybody, there's a sense of wanting to give back once you're a part of this community, which is always so cool, especially from an internal team perspective, to see just how willing and eager everyone is within the community to give back, which is always so cool to see. Yeah. So one more question, we'll wrap it up here. This is something that I ask every member that I speak with, and it is, what advice would you have for anybody who's either new to SFM or somebody who's considering something like SFM?
Advice. Man, the number one advice I would have is, if you've made the decision, or if you're making a decision, and you know that this is something that can change your life, and you know that it's something that, if you can just put down how long it's going to take you to get there, and realize, if you were to create the kind of life that you want, no matter how long it took to get there, no matter what you had to go through to get it, would it be worth it? You know? And the answer is always yes. You don't see anybody who's ever made it, who had to go through a bunch of stuff to get there, who looks back and goes, yeah, I'm successful and I've achieved all my dreams, but man, all that hard work wasn't really worth it. You know? So I would just say, be patient. Just know that it's going to be overwhelming, really. I mean, it just is, you know, and that is how everybody feels, right? So, I mean, a lot of my members I talk to, when they're brand new, it's overwhelming. I'm like, right, yeah, you know, I mean, it's just still, it took me 9 hours to do something like a couple Fridays ago, 9 hours to get this one thing right. This was some code, right? And it was frustrating. I would take a break and I would walk around. But when I finished it, I felt like a champion, dude. You know what I mean? And that's how this journey is. I mean, you know, it's all new. We're learning a completely new set of skills to have a completely different life. We can't have the expectation that it's going to be simple or everyone would do it. You know, so that would be my advice, man. Press on, persist, and have a good attitude. Be grateful you have the opportunity to learn something new.
Yeah, absolutely. And if anybody ever needs that boost, every other Thursday is when you have your In Focus call for motivation, gratitude, all of that stuff. So anybody who's watching who hasn't joined that yet, pay attention to your dashboard calendar and watch out for when Danny's calls are happening. I know that a lot of people get a lot out of those calls for sure. And it's a good way to help you persist if you're feeling a little roadblock or you're feeling not so great. So Danny, again, thank you so much for taking the time to come and talk with me today. It's been a lot of fun. As always, everybody watching, thank you for joining. I hope you got as much out of this as I did. And we'll see you next week on Wednesday with a new guest. So stay tuned. And Danny, again, thank you so much. Everybody enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, sir. I'm grateful. I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.